Hey, welcome to the Driven Stone Podcast, a podcast where two friends raise a glass and have a conversation. I'm Nick.
I'm Kyle.
And we are two friends.
Raising glasses.
Kyle, you know how sometimes we're joined by friends of the show that tell us really cool stuff about their lives?
Love those episodes.
I do too. And in fact, we set up one of those episodes and I had a really great conversation with some really amazing brewers from Chicago.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we're going to not hear that conversation.
Oh.
Yeah. Technology sometimes works against us.
Indeed, it does.
And unfortunately, this was one of those times.
Right.
So in terms of scheduling everything, I know you couldn't be a part of this episode. What I'm talking about is an episode with our friends at Funkytown Brewery.
Funkytown. Yeah, no, I remember this very well. There was a scheduling error on my part where I couldn't be involved, but we were able to make a conversation happen.
Absolutely.
But then technology said, hilarious.
That's basically what happened. Exactly. Yeah. So I had a great conversation with Funkytown Brewery.
Up in Chicago.
Yeah. Rich, Greg, and Zach from Funkytown Brewery.
Yep.
It was honestly one of the top 5 conversations I've ever had with brewers as a whole.
Sure.
And I went to go edit that episode and took all the audio from our program that we use,
right.
And the audio was just kind of weird as a whole. As a whole, a couple of times, there was just some weird sounds. So man,
yeah.
I don't know. And as an audio snob,
you called me right after it happened
in tears.
Yeah, and you played me some of the audio,
yeah.
And it was very clear. Dang it. This really is unusable.
That's the very PG version of what I said.
Dadgummit.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Gosh darn.
Yeah. It was a lot of words that
wort de furt. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of them. And it was listen, I'm gonna email these guys eventually. I'm gonna do my damnedest to make this audio work.
Right.
And I spent honestly normally in terms of editing wise, editing takes me a couple hours per episode,
right,
give or take. I spent 2 weeks trying to make this work.
Right.
And it just would not work.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have none of that conversation.
Bummer.
Super bummer.
Yeah.
I feel terrible.
Yeah.
I hate to start the episode on a bummer, but I just want to be forthright and forthcoming with what happened to this thing.
There was a great conversation had.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, circumstances as they are just didn't come to fruition. However,
yeah.
We've still got some great beer.
We do have some great beer. Yeah.
We can highlight, and you can tell us, about your conversation with them.
I'll do my best.
And we're going to highlight them the best we can.
Yeah, I'll do my best. We couldn't in good conscience call them back up and be hey, let's do this whole thing again. So I'm gonna do what I can.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know, and I can just attest to the fact. Not only I can attest to the fact that this is amazing beer, and they have such a good story.
Yeah.
If only they could share it with us themselves.
Indeed.
But to be fair, there's a bunch of interviews with them out there. So if you really want to hear from Rich, Greg, and Zach themselves, go check out some of the good interviews with them. But you're going to hear us talk about their amazing beer.
Indeed.
A little bit about Funkytown.
Won't you take me to?
No, you're going to need to give me a little more than that. Come on.
I want you to take me to.
Keep going.
But I want you to take me to.
Oh, so I have to say Funkytown.
There it is.
All right.
I know you
so
had it.
I'm going to take you to Funkytown.
There it is.
So we're going to start with a beer, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit about the brewery, what I learned from Zach, Greg, and Rich, and we'll go through the thing.
Perfect.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to start with their flagship beers. This is the Hip Hops R and Brew.
Woo.
Yeah, this is an APA, so it's an American Pale Ale with orange zest. It comes in at 5.5% ABV, and we got a whole pint here.
Phew.
I know. You ready for it?
Tall boy.
Yeah, here we go. Here's a little bit of canned words for you. This beer is the one that started Funkytown. It is reminiscent to an artist's first album. We spent years developing this style, flavor, aroma, and mouthfeel. We wanted to make a beer that allows people to expand their palate, not turn it off. Enjoy on repeat. So this has Citra and Mosaic hops. It has a little bit of orange zest added, and they're using the Denny's favorite yeast.
Denny. Is Denny one of the people?
Well, no, that's like a yeast strain.
Oh, yeah. It's Denny's favorite?
Yeah, Denny's favorite is kind of like a brewer's yeast strain.
Not like Moons Over My Hammy. Denny.
No, not that kind of Denny.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That nose, dude. Oh, man.
Is that Do we know who's on the can? Because it looks like the Fijis.
Oh,
It looks like Lauryn Hill.
It does look
Wyclef Jean and the other guy.
Fuji's.
Yeah. Did I say Fijis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that like a Fiji song?
It's a Fuji song.
Oh. I've never been to Fiji.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly.
Damn.
With his song.
Amazing.
You didn't think I know that, did you?
I knew you knew it. With your musical knowledge.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On the nose?
Sorry, I went straight to the palate.
Oh, did you?
Not quite. I was there though.
Oh.
To say that it has just a touch of orange zest is like it has a lot of orange zest. It's a beautifully applied orange zest.
On the nose, it is like orange peel in the best way possible.
Yeah, orange peel PA.
Yeah.
Orange peel. Like it's
right?
the best parts of orange and IPA.
Yeah, and it's got some like slight dank notes. So because it's an APA, so it's an American pale ale, you don't get like the super dank of an IPA.
Yeah, it doesn't have that
college dorm room.
Yeah, it doesn't go like head first into the dank.
Right, and
it's off to the side. It's there.
Sure, it's there. It's adjacent.
And I think it benefits from it.
I agree, and something that we were talking about when we recorded with Funkytown was that it's also, because it's an APA, it takes those like super bitter notes that you're used to with an IPA, and it just like mellows it out.
Yeah,
it's super even keel.
Right.
All right, to the palate.
To the palate.
Do it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's solid. That's delightful.
It was really nice. Yeah, what's not to like? I mean, it's malt forward.
Yep.
It's really easy going.
Yep.
You get some of those like danky IPA-esque notes.
Yeah, on the back end for sure.
It takes the IBUs, the bittering units that you associate with like an IPA.
Sure.
And it brings those down.
Yep.
So that it's like just easy going.
Yeah. That citrusy quality is so prevalent, like from the start all the way through.
Oh yeah. And it's not something that like, you think of like something like a Blue Moon that like has the citrus wheel on top.
Sure.
It's not like that. I mean, this is like, it's based around this perspective of citrus.
Well, but like I want to say like it's not dissimilar at the same time of like that citrus note is there. It's just not accompanied by that like heavy weedy sweetness.
Right.
It's more in tune with this pale ale bitter note that follows you through instead.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But that's something that I discussed with the guys is like they wanted to make a beer that was easy drinking for as wide of an audience as possible. So we haven't talked about this yet, but they are a black-owned brewery. And how they got their start was they were going to parties and they were seeing people just drinking kind of like big beer. And they were the only dudes drinking craft beer. So they wanted to create a product that spoke to, well, the people that they were going to parties with, spoke to a black community and addressed some of the lack of craft beer amongst the African-American community, especially in their Chicago area.
Right.
So that's why they created this, because, brewing a beer that is palatable for a wide range of people, because you can't throw a 7% IPA at a craft beer initiate and expect them to like it.
Well, and you said it in was it on here? We wanted to make a beer that allows people to expand their palate.
Right.
Not turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect. And that's exactly what this is. This is still close enough to kind of like mainstream beer, but then opens it up and shows you this is other avenues of what beer can be.
100%. And that's what the guys were talking about. It's like not only this representation within craft beer as a whole and getting more black voices in craft beer, but like we want people who are in our community, people that we're around all the time, we want them to love what we're doing. And how do you do that? Well, you get people to try your stuff and you explain to them what beer is and what craft beer can be.
And you know what? This is like very reminiscent to me with the conversation that we had with Leatherback Brewing.
Yeah.
Of, trying to introduce beer and beer styles into a culture and...
In their case, an island.
Yeah, in their case, an island, and trying to, but also bring in aspects from that culture into the beer.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar. Yeah. And like and it's such an awesome and like very interesting story to take part in.
What's most impressive about it is that the flavors of the beer back it up 100%.
Absolutely.
Because, it would be easy to, throw some kind of like representation story at something and like, here's what we're doing. And then the beer is not great.
Right.
But this is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, this is really great.
It is a great beer. And I don't want to, preempt anybody into this, but I'm going to tell you. The other three that we're about to do, also lights out.
Let's get to it.
There is another beer, but I want to talk real quick about where I met these dudes.
Okay.
So we were invited to the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It happens every year in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
And in fact, this year, Kyle, it happens early October.
Ooh.
And I got to tell you, man, October in Colorado is fantastic.
Peak beer season.
Oh, my gosh. So if we're invited back, which I'm pretty sure we will be.
Put it on the calendar. It's done.
Okay, so
cement it in stone.
Okay, so we were invited. Chisel it, cement it. Yeah, I got what you mean. So we were invited, and unfortunately, you couldn't go this year.
Right.
Not a big deal. So Carol and I went.
Yep.
And we were invited to the media brunch.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. So like this is a brunch that's put on by Sam Adams.
Yep.
And also collaboration with Dogfish Head because they're owned by the same. I mean, they're a big company basically. At this point. One big company.
Right.
And Funkytown Brewery, they won the Brewing the American Dream scholarship. I think it's a scholarship through Sam Adams, which Sam Adams basically is supporting small breweries across the country to help them become even bigger and help them brew great things in their community.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's such a cool thing.
Zach, Greg, and Rich, they were all there. They got to talk a little bit. They talked about Funkytown. They talked about what they're trying to do. They talked about, being black brewers here in America and what that means to them and all these kind of like really great things. And then I got to try their beer. We were sampling, dude. We were sampling a whole bunch of Dogfish Head stuff. We were sampling a bunch of Sam stuff. I had Utopias. And I was like,
was that your first time?
That was my first time having Utopias.
Yeah.
And they were hanging out at the table while, and they had a bunch of their brews. I'm like, yeah, I mean, let's try it. Like, you guys were awesome. Tried it. And I was like, holy shit.
Wow.
Like this, you guys, like, this is great stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
So immediately I was like, nope, we got to get you guys on the podcast. It took a little bit of time, but we finally made it happen. And, now we got some beer.
Audio.
I know.
That's cool.
Audio. But so we're
this
doing
year.
the thing.
This year.
Great American Beer Fest?
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll make it work.
Oh, I can't.
And we'll make sure we get all the
things.
The visuals.
I can't
It'd be great.
tell you how much I know you're going to love it.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
So good. All right. So you want another beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hit another one. If that's the flagship, that ship is sailing. All right. She's hitting the open waters. She's full sails.
She's full sail. Full sail. All right. So this is the Hip Hops R and Brew Volume 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Volume dose.
So it's basically the same kind of idea here, but instead of orange peel, we're going with mango.
Ooh.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Canned words for you. Hip Hop's R & Brew Volume 2, our follow-up to our most loved debut American Pale Ale. With this beer, we didn't want to stray too far from the original magic that made the first iteration a hit. We switched up the hops and added a little mango to keep the aroma tropical. Low bitterness with a smooth finish. So this has Belma and Idaho hops, mango as the flavor note here. And then again, we're using Denny's favorite. And on the nose, man, oh, buddy, tropical AF.
Yeah, it really is.
It truly is.
Like hard into the mango.
Yeah. But it's like, it's fresh mango. It's not artificial mango. Like you ever had like one of those, like a mango candy or something like mango scented? It's not that. It's literally the scent of a legitimate mango.
Yeah.
Which is not super pungent, but like you just know it, especially if you know the mango. And of course, all the malty beery notes that were on the HHRB Volume 1. All right, on the palate?
On the palate. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
A bit of a curveball.
That mango note kind of falls off a little bit.
Yeah, mango, I'm not sure it shows up on the palate.
No.
At least first sip coming right off of the first edition.
Yeah.
The second one, I mean, the palate is a touch thinner than the other. And that mango note on the nose, which is so vibrant, you kind of expected that same kind of like almost syrupy thickness on this one.
Yeah.
This one being a bit thinner, that mango note kind of recedes and you're just left with that like beautiful APA note.
Yeah, for me, I think this is even more crushable just because it takes those like malty sweet notes and just dials it actually down a little bit. Weirdly, it's the exact same ABV. It's 5.5, which is, I think, a perfect ABV to begin with. But yeah, I totally agree with you. The mango note is a little subdued, and I'm not by any means disappointed by that.
Yeah, no, me neither. It's just a curveball.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
You know, I'm a huge fan of the curve.
But
Can't hit it, but I love the curve.
So we're drinking this like crispy cold. I've let it just warm up a touch, and as it's warmed, that mango
That
note
releases
becomes a little bit more prominent.
Like on the 9th fairway.
Sure, where like you're easing into the game. Oh yeah.
That ice is already melted. Beers have warmed up a bit.
Yeah, things.
You come around the turn, they throw you that red mango towel.
For sure.
Shit.
things are getting real around here, man. So Funkytown right now, Kyle, they're brewing out of another brewery right now because they're trying to get like all the kinks worked out. They're trying to figure out how they're going to build the brand as a whole. And I really respect that because so many breweries, I mean, you and I have experienced this. So many breweries, like they get 1 or 2 good beers, maybe even 3 or 4 good beers, and then they just rush everything out.
Sure.
In Funkytown, and I think through a great business sense by the 3 guys, and also, you know, some mentorship from Sam Adams, they're like, okay, let's do this thing right. We want to create a space that is open and inclusive for our community. And we want to make something that we stand behind these products 100%.
Agreed. I'm still like enthralled trying to figure out if that's Alicia Keys.
Who are you thinking of?
Now I think it's Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Not sure if that's who it is. Mary J. Blige album covers. Oh yeah, no, I think it's it.
Totally. That's exactly what it is. Damn, man. Good job.
On it.
Let's talk about the can art.
Yep.
So what you got on this one?
This one took me a second.
Yeah.
I was confused. I thought first maybe Alicia Keys, but then my thought process was like, no. If they went Fugees on the first one and like old school Fugees,
R&B.
let's go back to that era.
R&B, yeah.
That era is more, you know, is not Alicia Keys. That's kind of like before her time.
Yeah.
Then, oh yeah, no, that's Mary J. Blige.
Yeah, 100% it is.
Yeah, and then I found the album art.
the album cover, yeah. Yeah, I love that. I think that's their first
What's
album.
the 411?
I think
Mary J. Blige.
I think that's their first album.
So then maybe that's the thing, because I'm pretty sure that was the Fugees' first album cover.
I think so.
Maybe that's the connecting arc. We'll see.
I love it.
We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. You want to go on the next one?
Is that the thing? Was that?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Wait a second.
You got some more in your glass.
What just?
What?
I think I finished mine.
You didn't.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
You want to move on to the next one?
Did I make that up?
Did you?
Or
finish?
did you literally just
I
switch
did not
them?
switch them. No, you made that up.
I thought I finished it.
You didn't. You finished your first one.
On to the next one. On to the next one.
All right, here we go.
I hope this one's got the bean on it because they're Chicago.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. This is the cuffin season.
Cuffin?
Cuffin.
What is cuffin season, Nick?
It's that time of year
Yep.
when you're eating more chocolatey cookies.
Ooh.
You only have 4 hours of daylight to show off your earth-toned boots, and it's dark outside at 4:17.
Your Timberlands.
Yeah.
And what? What was the last bit?
It's dark outside at 4:17 p.m.
Whoa.
It's
that
cuffin
must
season.
happen. That must happen in Chicago.
Yeah,
that
for
doesn't
sure.
happen in Central Florida.
No, not really. Now, this is the time of year to seek out a romantic partner
Ooh.
for the dark, cold, thermal underwear wearing months of the year. Cozy up with our Irish red ale, or use it to bait someone into cozying up with you for a few months.
Love an Irish red ale.
Yeah, so I know, like, just talking to the guys, that this can was made by a local artist, and if you look at the can as a whole, there's a lot of really cool Easter eggs in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we're talking to the guys about, like, there's a obviously. The
there's a calendar.
There's
Yes,
calendar
the
background.
fall, probably.
Yeah, fall. There's a lot of really cool, like, you can tell the people on the front. Got a bag full of Funkytown brews.
Ah, sick.
They actually do have handcuffs over here.
Nice.
Yeah,
It is the cuffin season.
Yeah. And it's by
I was right.
but it's made by the artist at Reldot, RELLDOT, if you want to check him out. It's a really cool art.
All right. Whoa. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, all right. So when y'all did this,
Yeah.
did you talk about this beer?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
All right, you ready to crack into it?
Let's do it. Love an Irish red.
So I expect an Irish red ale to have malty notes.
Sure.
And be like almost Oktoberfest adjacent.
Oh, yeah. No, that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, a little bit like calmer.
Yeah.
On the volume of flavor.
Sure.
But not quite as like toasty.
That's exactly
You know?
Yeah.
Just right there like a light toast.
Yeah, I don't expect a lot of huge roasty toasty notes, but I expect the same idea out of it.
I love a red ale.
Yeah, me too.
Love a red ale.
This comes in at 5.4, so totally drinkable.
Yeah, they're still staying right around that crushable range.
Absolutely. On the nose? Totally.
Delightful.
Malty, roasty, toasty, but not like, again, not quite Oktoberfest, but like, I mean, look at the color.
It's there, and it's, I also find it like very similar to a brown ale, right there in that same malty range.
Yeah. Oh, hell, man. I just went for the palate.
Just went all in.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this has like a really fun like peanut note. Not peanut butter.
Peanut.
Just peanut.
Yeah, peanut. Mm-hmm.
Peanut.
Get you some of that the palate there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
You could convince me that this was like a peanut butter something.
I think it's on your brain right now because I'm not getting peanut butter on the palate, but I'm getting like just all those like lovely. Okay, I'm gonna amend that statement. I'm gonna even leave it in. Then I'm amending the statement. It's like the toast.
It's creamy peanut butter.
It's the toast that you get with like a peanut, like you toasted a peanut butter sandwich. It's like just slight, like a glaze.
Yeah, it's got that toasty of the bread. It's a smooth peanut butter. It's not a chunky.
Nah.
Over it.
I'm gonna attribute it to the malty nature here.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's just like really malty pronounced
and creamy.
Man, that's fantastic.
It really is.
I could totally see this like going with the fall season.
Did you ask them about the difference, like going from like the hip hop R&B brew and then like their other lines?
Yeah. So the idea is obviously their flagship is the HHRB. But they wanted something that was a little more seasonal, and they wanted to explore other beer types as a whole. And this was something that came out for them, or this is something that they developed to kind of replicate that fall aspect.
Right.
And I think they nailed it, man.
For sure. No, that's really cool that it's such a different style.
Yeah.
Since their flagship and kind of what they're building themselves on is this tropical IPA adjacent thing.
Yeah.
And then to go straight into like a different style, which is, traditional.
Yeah. Well,
super cool.
And what I think it does for them as a brewery and them as brewers is it showcases their breadth of ability and the breadth of knowledge as a whole.
Right.
It's this idea of, we can create something that's totally crushable and is a little fruit forward, but here's something, you said traditional. Yeah. Here's something that's a little more
mainstream,
if you want.
Yeah,
totally. Here's a thing, and you're going to like this too. Here you go. All right. You want to get to our last beer here?
Indeed, I do.
So this is their Black is Beautiful Jazz Nights Baltic Porter with blackberry.
Jazz Nights?
Yeah, Black is Beautiful. So you remember we actually did this with a couple other breweries where there's a Black is Beautiful brewery movement. This is based on Marcus Baskerville, who is a brewer. And this is a collaboration spearheaded by him. What he did is he said, hey, let's brew this beer and get the idea of Black is Beautiful out there to more consumers as a whole in relation to the issues that are facing racial discrimination and things of that nature, especially in the kind of pandemic era. So Black is Beautiful in craft beer is a collaborative effort amongst the brewing community and its customers in an attempt to bring awareness to the injustices that many people of color face daily. The campaign and collaboration was spearheaded by Marcus Baskerville and hosted by Weathered Souls Brewing in San Antonio, Texas. The proceeds of this particular beer will be donated to assist further the legacy of Black is Beautiful with donations to the National Black Brewers Association and the African Jazz Art Society and Studios.
Incredible.
Yeah. So not only is this going to be amazing beer because I've already had it, but it also is beer for a cause, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, for sure. Black
is Beautiful is a slogan and movement pioneered by the African Jazz Art Society in the 1960s. The phrase is rooted in appreciation of self, beauty of self, and to establish a Black standard. It was a direct response to how the conceptions of beauty and body image in the media affected Black women. And so now Marcus and a whole bunch of other brewers across the United States have kind of taken this, made it their own. Each individual brewery can play around with the idea of this. So here's what Funkytown has done with it.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Yeah, so this is going to be a Baltic Porter, so you're going to get a lot of like real roasty, toasty notes. And it comes in at
7.1.
Ooh, this is the highest Funkytown Brewery beer we've had so far.
And it's also with blackberry.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a little fruity note.
I like that. Not a whole lot of blackberry on the nose.
Yeah, but there's like almost like a jammy kind of a texture to it.
So when I was talking with Funkytown, like that's the note that I got predominantly. It was like jammy.
Right.
It reminds me of one of those like Danish cookies with like the jelly in the middle. Like that's the jammy nature I'm getting here.
Yeah, but it's like on a piece of pumpernickel. Like a dark pump with some raspberry jam.
For sure. No sniffing, time for sipping. That's where the blackberry sings to me.
Wow. Yeah.
When you think of a Baltic Porter, you think of something that's like just big, bold, and rich.
Sure.
And I think the blackberry exists on the top of that. Like you still have those like super dark roasted malty notes.
Yeah.
But the blackberry exists like complementary to that.
Agreed. It almost kind of like goes through your palate that way.
Absolutely.
If you get that jammy blackberry thing happening, still with a little bit of the Baltic Porter notes.
Yeah.
But then that kind of washes away, and then you're kind of at the base with the Baltic dark bready notes at the bottom.
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh. Like what a journey.
Well, and I think like something that always dissuades me from like a heavy dark Baltic Porter kind of beer is it's just like one note and it's all heavy.
Well, but like at the same time, if I could say if I was at a brewery,
yeah,
and I saw a Baltic Porter at 7.1, yes,
sure, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like,
kick it up to 6th gear.
Yeah,
but that's not at the same time like overwhelming
to me. Then you add that blackberry note, and it brings down the heaviness of that. Yeah. This is not a heavy beer.
No.
Would I go so far as to say summer beer? I don't know, but I would say this is way easier drinking than like when you say Baltic Porter.
Right.
You think like somebody who
think winter.
Yeah.
You think
this is
like,
not that.
This is my last pour of the evening kind of a thing. Or it's like I just want to taste it, so let me get it in a
2-ounce pour because I can't handle anything else.
Let me just try it.
Yeah, no way.
This give me a full pour of that.
Absolutely.
Whew.
Fantastic. Everything in here is super complimentary. Everything in here is working with each other. Everything in here is very clearly thought out and curated and crafted, and I love that.
Yeah, that's really fun. That's a great
fun is
beer.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, man. Like I absolutely love discovering new breweries like that we can't get in our area. Like the Funkytown isn't distributing to us down here in Central Florida, but that they have a good presence there in Illinois, Chicago, maybe even like Indiana and maybe southern Wisconsin, like that kind of like that area surrounding Chicago. And I can't wait to see what Funkytown does and how they expand in that area and then maybe even beyond.
Agreed.
So I know that as a whole, like Funkytown, they're doing really great things. I know that they're, as I already said, they're working on getting a tasting room and a tap room together in Chicago, and they can't wait to host patrons there in Chicago, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, we did a trip up to Chicago a few years ago. Obviously, I can't wait to go back. I love Chicago. I loved the vibe of Chicago. So if I've got a hometown brewery that I can visit while I'm there, cannot wait.
So we just want to say real quick again, thank you to Rich, Greg, and Zach for sending us this amazing beer. And again, we apologize for the audio not working out, but I'm super grateful that we had beer that we could go through and we could taste together.
Yeah, what a great experience to be able to like tie this all together.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll make it better in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, come on. That's all we can do. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I will say this. What it is fantastic beer.
It's great beer, for sure.
Great beer. And I encourage anyone to go to funkytownbeer.com and check out what they got going on. Maybe you can get some beer shipped to you. Maybe figure out a local store to you that's carrying Funkytown. As a whole, I highly recommend Funkytown Brewery because everything I've had from them, solid.
Yeah. Nothing bad in the bunch here.
You anything else?
No.
Nah, I mean, neither. We do have a little bit of beer left, but we're going to crush it right now.
Yeah, that's going to handle itself for sure.
Easily. Well, we'd love to know, what do you think about Funkytown Brewery if you've had a chance to try some?
Yeah, if not, like, look it up. Find a way to get some of it because you're not going to be disappointed.
I mean, let's be honest. Chicago is probably like a 3-hour flight from most of the U.S., so just get yourself there and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, get up there. One, you're going to love Chicago. Chicago's such a great city.
Yeah.
I'm sure all the snow has melted by now. You know, at this point in time, it's probably a great time to go visit.
Yeah.
And have yourself some amazing beer from Funkytown.
You can get in touch with us through email. It's drepandstone@gmail.com. You can also get in touch with us through social media.
On social media, we're just one word, Drep and Stone. D-R-E-P and Stone.
Whoa. It's not just one word. It is the only word.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
It's only one word.
There it is.
D-R-E-P and Stone. Drep and Stone. The way we like to say it.
Right.
Find us, like us, share a thing, comment on a thing. Go watch one of our whiskey pairing videos.
So fun.
You're going to find your favorite whiskey or your favorite snack.
Yeah,
I guess.
sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're great. They're fantastic.
They truly
and then
are.
You can also give us a suggestion on something else that is your favorite snack that you would like to see us pair a whiskey with.
I can't wait to hear those.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also love it if you support the podcast. You can do so through our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/drepandstone. Helps keeps the lights on, the fan going, and the recording machine working. You can also support us by rating Drep and Stone wherever it is you find great podcasts like this one.
Just like this one.
You can also support Drep and Stone by checking out flaviar.com to get yourself a couple good bottles, maybe a couple tasting bottles. Use the promo code DSP10 to save you a bit of money.
Yeah, save you a bit of money.
You can also support the podcast by telling someone about Drep and Stone.
Indeed.
It's free, it's easy, and let's be honest, it's probably the best way.
Do you have, like, I don't know, a third times removed cousin?
Who doesn't?
Yeah. And how often do you run into that cousin?
Rarely.
Yeah, but when you do,
Yeah, you're like, hey, buddy, how's it going?
let them know.
Sure.
Certainly you've already heard of Drep and Stone.
Drep and Stone, what are you talking about?
Whoa. Stop right there.
I am.
Look it up.
Okay.
It's a podcast.
Give me a second.
These guys, they love drinks.
Whoa.
They love random conversations.
They've got a cool logo.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Look them up.
Yeah.
Give them a listen.
Okay.
Find them on Instagram.
Do you like them?
These guys make incredible content.
Oh.
The best of the best.
Oh. I just saw something about pairing Cheetos?
Yeah. Go watch that.
Sushi?
Yeah. Nah, they're not wrong.
Okay.
Go find them.
All right. Thank you.
Follow them.
Um,
Comment on a thing.
bye,
like
cousin.
a thing. Share a thing.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving right now.
Oh.
Well, I gotta go drink
All
whiskey.
right.
is what I'm doing.
Just tell your mom I said hi.
Tell your mom I said hi. Okay, bye. It's that easy.
Super easy.
Just like that.
Man.
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
May your glass overflow.
And your ass never show. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Look at his life.
Yeah.
It's just stress finally got to him.
He had a hard life and
He's had a life. Have I talked to you since Madonna?
no.
Pull it back out again. No, put that away. I meant the beer. And just giant like rubber bubble that would just kill me like
Rubber bubble.
bah.
Rubber bubble.
Rubber bubble.
What was that?
Fozzie.
Oh. And how they got started.
I think that was like you didn't skip a beat. What was that? Fozzie.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Like I'm not surprised by that.
1,000%.
100%.
No, 1,000.
1,001%.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,100%.
Yep.
Killing me softly with his song. It's Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean,
Yeah. And
Chuck,
and Chuck of the Fugees.
Charles.
And it's just weird. Who has ever poured a beer back into a can?
Listen, there's a time for everything, buddy.
That's next level. You need to pee, you go into the ocean. All right?
It says Florida.
It's right there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it, but I'm saying I need to be trusting.
Our safety word is too Turkish.
That's 2 words.
Just Turkish then.
Yeah.
It's too Turkish is in their lexicon. Did I just use that word right?
You did.
Okay.
I'm actually.
Cuff 'em, Dano. The Dano?
It's Dano. Yeah. Hawaii Five-O.
Hawaii 5-0, but
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
Dano.
seen any.
Really?
The
You
new
never
or the
watched
old?
Really? You never watched the old Hawaii Five-O?
Never.